All right, welcome back to Ingenuity Algebra 2A. This time we're going to be talking about the synthetic division and the remainder theorem. Let's get started. All right, so which one is the divisor? So divisor was this one. So how do I get that? So it was originally coming from the factor of x plus 5. Okay, the reverse step of getting a negative 5 into as a divisor over there is that you set this x plus 5 equals to 0. So you have x plus 5 equals to 0, and then you just subtract 5 on both sides, solve for x, which equals to negative 5. That's how I insert it into here. So originally it was x plus 5, so pick this one. Okay, what is the dividend? So dividend is basically these numbers. Okay, so how do I identify what the dividend, what's the polynomial of this dividend? So you start from the first number. That's going to be the constant. Okay, so constant is basically just a number. The rest of them, you're going to move up by 1 degree. So this one is going to be x, this one is going to be x squared, and this one is going to be x cubed. Okay, so which means that 2 is the coefficient of x cubed, 10, positive 10 is the coefficient of x squared, and then positive 1 is the coefficient of x with the constant 5. Okay, so pick this one. All right, so how do you solve this one with a synthetic division? So you're going to just write down the dividend. So you're going to write the coefficient of 2, and then 4, negative 35, and then positive 15. Okay, so for divisor, I'm going to use the little box. Understand that you need to set that x minus 3 equals to 0. So x, you add 3 on both sides, so x equals to 3. That's why you need to insert in here. Okay, the first number you want to put under the 2 is 0. So you're just going to add. Synthetic division, syn, talks about adding. Okay, so we're going to be doing a bunch of addings here. So we're going to have 2 plus 2 plus 0, that's 2 right here. And then you're going to use 3 to multiply by 2 and insert the product. That's going to be 6. Okay, so you're going to add 6. So 4 plus 6, that's going to be 10. And then you're going to use 3 to multiply by 10. And then you get a product of 30. So you add negative 35 to positive 30. So that's going to be negative 5. And then you're going to use 3 to multiply by negative 5. You're going to get a product of negative 15. So you add a negative 15, you're going to cancel out. So you got a remainder, that's 0. Okay? And then the next number is going to be the constant. And then that's going to be the x. And the last one is going to be the x squared. Okay? So your answer is going to be 2x squared, and then the next coefficient is positive 10. That's for the x, and then the next one is a constant, which is the minus 5. Okay, so that one. All right, so what's the remainder? So last number. Okay, so for the synthetic division, solve for that. So what's the quotient? Okay, so this is what you need to do. You're gonna have to rewrite that, because when we're skipping a degree, you cannot just fully skip it. You have to write zeros for it. So you can think of it as x cubed plus 0 x squared plus 0 x plus 1 to divide it by x minus 1. So the divisor, you have to set that equal to 0. So x minus 1 equals to 0, x equals to 1. So divisor is going to be 1. So when I set this up, it's going to look like this. So this is a coefficient 1. So you're going to write 1, 0, 0, and then 1. Okay? And then divisor, and we use a different color, it's 1. Okay? So this is what you do. The first number under the highest degree, you're going to put 0. You're going to add 0, so it's going to be 1. And then 1 times 1, it's going to be 1, and you're going to add that. So 0 plus 1, that's 1. And then 1 times 1, so that's going to be 1. Okay, so add that again. 1 times another 1, so the product is going to be 1 again. So add that up. So which means that this is going to be a remainder. I'll put R. This is going to be your constant. This is going to be your x. This is going to be your x squared. Okay, so the coefficient of x squared is 1. Coefficient for x is 1, positive 1 basically. And then a coefficient for the constant is 1. So constant is 1. And the remainder, you're going to write 2, but it's actually over the divisor. So divided by or over x minus 1, because that's what we're dividing. Okay, so that's going to be your answer right there. Choice number 3. So what's the quotient for this? So you're just going to write all the coefficients down. So 3, 6, 2, 9, and 10. So you got to be careful if there is a skipping of any degree. Okay, this is x plus 2, so you got to set it equal to 0. So x plus 2 set equal to 0, x equals to negative 2. So you're going to put a negative 2 in here. Okay, so the first number you want to put down is 0, add them up. So that's 3. So negative 2 times 3, so that's negative 6. And then you add them up, 0. Negative 2 times 0, that's 0. Add them up, it's 2. 2 times negative 2, that's negative 4. That's positive 5. Positive 5 times negative 2 is negative 10. Add them up, it's going to be 0. Okay, so this one is divisible, so which means that your remainder is 0. Constant is 5. Coefficient for x is 2. And then 0 is the coefficient for x squared. And then 3 is the coefficient of x cubed. Okay, so if you rewrite that, it's going to be 3x cubed. This one is 0, so just don't write it. Plus 2x plus 5. And that will be the answer right there. All right, so the volume of a rectangular prism. So basically, you're going to be doing the division, right? So you're going to write 2, 9, negative 8, negative 36. And the divisor is x plus 2. So in here, the box, you have to put x plus 2 equals to 0, x equals to negative 2. So you're going to insert negative 2 in here. Okay, so first number is 0 plus dot 0, so that'll be 2. 2 times negative 2, that's negative 4. Add them up, that's going to be positive 5. Okay, so that's going to be negative 10. So negative 8 times, plus negative 10, that's going to be negative 18. And then negative 2 times negative 18, that's going to be positive 36. So your remainder is going to be 0. That's going to be your constant. That's going to be your the coefficient of x. And this is coefficient of x squared. Okay, so when you write it, it's going to be 2x squared plus 5x minus 18. Okay, so this one, last one is your answer. All right, so this is a similar question, okay? So basically, just use synthetic division. So that's 5, positive 19, positive 6, and then negative 18, okay? So the divisor is going to be x plus 3. So when you write it, it's going to put negative 3. Okay, set x plus 3 equal to 0 and solve for x. And you get x equals negative 3. So put 0 in here, add them up. That's going to be 5. 5 times negative 3, that's going to be negative 15. Add them up, that's going to be positive 4. 4 times negative 3, that's negative 12. So that's going to be negative 6. And then negative 6 times negative 3, that's going to be positive 18. So they cancel each other out, it's being 0. So it's going to be remainder equals to 0. And then constant is negative 6. and then 4 is the coefficient of x, and then 5 is the coefficient of x squared. The first one. All right, so if x plus 8 is a factor of f of x, okay? If it's a factor, that means it's divisible, okay? Your remainder is going to equal to 0, okay? So if a divisor is x plus 8, so which means that x plus 8 equals to 0, x equals to negative 8. So this is your x right there. This is your remainder. So that third option is true. Okay, so which one is true? So if negative 1 is a factor, is a root of f of x, so x equals to negative 1. So how do you get a factor? So that's like a reverse step that I mentioned earlier. So you're just going to add 1 on both sides. So you got x plus 1 equals to 0. This is your factor right here. Okay, so you're going to pick this one. All right, so one factor is x plus 7. So I'm going to show you guys what the remainder theorem is about. So you're going to use 5, negative 170, and 280. And then you're going to, divisor is going to be negative 7. Okay, so put 0 down. Okay, so that's going to be 5. Okay, so 5 times negative, negative 7, that's going to be negative 35. You add them up, it's going to be negative 30. And then multiply it. The next one, negative 30 times negative 7, that's going to be 2 and 210. So 210 plus negative 170, that's going to be 40. And then 40 times negative 7, it's going to be negative 280. So add them up, it's going to be 0. Okay, so we know that one of the roots is going to be x equals to negative 7. Okay, so basically you can eliminate the first option and the last option. Okay, that down to the last two. Okay, all right, so what is the remainder theorem? So basically you're going to use that. That's a constant. This is a coefficient of x, and this is the coefficient of x squared. So you're going to just do the factoring. So 5x squared minus 30x plus 40. Now we're just going to factor it. Set it equal to 0. Okay, so if you think this is a little too big, you can divide all the terms by, multiply all the terms by 1 over 5. So you can make sure that the x squared has a coefficient of 1. Okay, so let me show you what happens if you do that. So 5 divided by 5, well, 5 times 1/5, that's just going to be, it's going to be 1. Okay, so you don't have to write 1. But negative 30 times 1/5, it's going to be negative 6. So I'm going to rewrite negative 6. Okay, and then positive 40 times 1/5 is going to be, it's going to be 8. Okay, so go ahead and write the factor form. So x and x, and then put minus 2 and minus 4. And then set each parentheses equal to 0. You're going to solve and get x equals to 2 or 4. So 2, 4, negative 7. Last one. This is a similar question as that. I just know that I need more space here. So let's write down the dividend. So 1, negative 4, negative 20, positive 48, and then 1 root is 6, so you don't have to actually do set equal to 0. You just put 6 in here. Okay, so go ahead and put the 0 for the first number, add them up, it's going to be 1. 6 times 1, that's 6. Add them up, it's going to be positive 2. 2 times 6, that's 12. Add them up, negative 8. 6 times negative 8 is negative 48. So remainder equals to 0. Okay, so that allows you to bring down, this is the constant, this is the x, and this is the x squared. Okay, so let's write down the, let's factor that. So x squared plus 2x minus 8 set equal to 0. Okay, so you write in the factor form, it's going to be positive 4 minus 2. Okay, set each parentheses equal to 0, and then solve for x. X equals to x equals to negative 4, or x equals to positive 2. Okay, so basically right here, I don't have to get to that part. You can just know that this is going to be the factor. Okay, so that's right here and right here. Okay, so when they say that the root is 6, basically it's saying that another factor is going to be x, well, x equals to 6. You do the reverse step. So you're going to subtract 6 on both sides. So x minus 6 equals to 0 as well. So that's going to be your third factor. Okay, so that's it. So good luck on your quiz. Take care, guys.